that will be. I guess we'll find out. Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Royal Orbis. Uh, I guess it's voice chat now? Whatever we are. This is a radio show. We are radioing. Welcome, everybody. Today, we have a couple of different topics. I was real excited to talk about a few of the things, and finally, I'm actually going to get that. Later on in the show, Thalmor hopefully will be around to talk and co-host. But for now, it's going to be me and Krampus, and who knows? Maybe we'll get Kev to talk a little bit. I don't know. I don't really know if I have anything for him to talk about. But today we're going to talk about a bunch of different topics. The bigger, the bigger topics. Uh, First off, I'm going to ask Krampus to talk a little bit about the theft of the banks, because that's a good segue into the second topic. So, Krampus, I saw a very interesting post on Ron recently that was talking about. It showed a list of. Let me see if I can pull it up. It showed a list of transactions that happened, um, and from what it seemed like, it was some sort of someone was able to take a whole bunch of money from your bank. I'm assuming through manipulation of a bot. Am I right in thinking that?
Yes, you are right. Um, would you like to continue or should I explain?
I Whatever you have to explain. I know you can't say everything, but
Yes, I mean, in reality, there is only one piece of information that I am not allowed to share. But basically, um, the person known as GKNK, I suppose that's how you pronounce his name. Um, Apparently, the bot that I had sold to Bank of Evil, they were using it for their payments. Apparently, he uh, found out a way to exploit something in that bot that allowed him to add more money to his account than you know than realistically feasible, such as adding a trillion dollars or $1,000 trillion when the actual in-game transaction was for one food, something like that. Um, so because Bank of Evil were using the same bot that I was using, I had sold it to them. He could use that same exploit to add money to his balance. And sure, he can speak after I'm done. Um, so he basically emptied all the cash in the foundation's bank account. Basically, that was around 12 billion, 12.5, I think. And the reason he was able to do that was that the code uses context. There is something called a context variable. It basically is the um, it's the argument that's in the in the in the command that he runs, or the user runs. And what he did was that he ran the command, and before saving the command, he edited it. So when the bot thought it was accepting a transaction for $500,000, what he added to his balance was 500 billion, something crazy number like that. He did this over and over, and he added. I still have that ticket. Let me check. He added something like, I still have that number here. Um, let's see, 99 trillion, 999 billion, 999 million. Something like that goes on and on and on. He then tried to withdraw it all, and ended up withdrawing like something $12.5 billion we talked about. Luckily, he couldn't empty the whole offshore. I had thought of something like this that could happen, and there was a limit, hard cap, to the amount the boat could withdraw, and he ended up withdrawing all of it. You know, every single bit of cash under that limit, and the in the end, the company lost around 12.5 billion. But uh, yeah, I think that's all I am allowed to say.
So for the novice users like myself, the company you said wait what'd you call it? It's not the company,
The foundation
the
is
foundation. Yeah, um, I can't even remember that. The foundation. Who other aside from yourself, who runs that? Is that an alliance run bank or is that just a private bank?
uh, I mean, I run it technically. I mean, I run it, and Carthago, Order of the White Rose, and House Stark each have a 2.6 billion dollar stake. So around a bit less than uh, yeah, basically a third of the bank is controlled by Nexus. At least it was when the valuation of the shares were 1,000 PPU. Now it's double that. Um, yes, that's about it.
So it's a private run bank that happens to have a couple of different alliances that are heavily invested. Then is that what I'm getting? So there's a bunch of private
Uh,
investors as well. Is that what I'm understanding?
yes,
I'm trying to
yes.
I'm trying to figure out who aside from you has lost money.
In the end, no one lost money, but um, back when the money was stolen, um, all parties that had any sort of stake in the company, be it shareholders or alliances, lost money initially. Zigbir, unfortunately, yeah, does not affect tickets. They can spam them. I cannot control that unless I mute them, of course.
The what? Oh, those are stickers? Oh goodness.
Yes, those are not.
Oh
Yeah,
goodness. Ah,
Discord thought it would be a good idea to add tickets. Emojis
come on,
wasn't there.
Discord. Emojis are too large as it is. Get these pictures out of here. At least it's not animated like some of them.
Yeah, stickers are just dumb. And apparently, Discord also wants to think. There are something called flash commands. I'm sure you have never heard of it, but they're basically verse commands. So you will have an even worse time, even a harder time trying to use bots when they're what was the word, implemented.
Believe it or not, those are actually pretty comfortable for old fogies like myself. Because,
What?
believe it or not, back in the day, we used to have this thing called IRC, and
That's not.
IRC worked primarily by slash commands, and that they're actually like I couldn't find the change nickname button anymore. Um, and I was like, I'll just use the slash commands, just like the good old days.
IRC is not that old. You make it sound to be like 50 years old. It's just 2016, mate.
I,
It's not
yeah,
that old.
no, it's not that old, but I know a lot of the people here was that's kind of an old thing. And when I used it, that was back in like I stopped using IRC probably in 2010, maybe. It's a good 11 years ago. It feels like a long
for
time.
for CM, I'm guessing.
Yeah, for Cybernations. Good old,
Nice.
what do you call it? Cold Front, which probably doesn't even exist anymore. I don't even know. Yeah, it was Cold Front. Um,
Anyway, we got digressed.
Anyways, we got sidetracked. I invited JK and K to speak. Do you have anything to say to defend yourself?
He can unmute himself.
Yep.
Okay, so Daraj already told a lot of, or not Daraj. I'm going to talk about Daraj in a second, but Krampus already told a lot of details about what happened. But what I wanted to say was, Krampus was saying that Daraj sold the script that he used in Bank of Evil. I don't know if he sold it or gave it to him, whatever, for him to use in the Federation or in the Foundation. And I told Daraj about that glitch like months ago, and he knew about it. And he said that the traffic in Bank of Evil was low enough at the time that he could just keep an eye on it. And I don't know if he forgot, because that was a pretty big exploit, and he just didn't tell Krampus about it. So that's just what I wanted to say.
I'm not surprised. Daraj was, let's just say, negligent on a lot of things. It just didn't matter because, his businesses were generally not that active. Things that used bot. And yes, I sold it to him for 300 million back in the times of Tose.
Yeah, I mean, Daraj isn't really responsible anymore because he's kind of off the grid. So I don't think he can really be punished. People are saying trial. I don't think he can really be punished.
So my question is, when I read the news thread and stuff like that, it was very, very unclear as to what the fallout was of that. So what happened to that money? Did you use it? Did you buy 30 cities? Did it get returned?
So this is the part I don't know what I'm allowed to say.
Yes, I don't think you're allowed to say the
Yeah.
answer to that.
I won't say too much. I'm not going to say anything because I'll probably say something stupid.
Let's just say I unbanned him.
Yeah, he unbanned me. So that's, yeah.
I mean, that says a lot already.
Here, I'll put the screenshot in because that was funny. Oh, you can't put images. Let me put it in somewhere else.
You can
Just
I'll
post the
just give
link.
you-
Post the link and I'll repost it as
I
the
just
thing.
gave you the role. You can post it in the Balkans.
Congratulations
Alright.
on obtaining Yi.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want to pronounce it as yeah.
Yeah. Alright, I will pronounce it yeah. Congratulations on yeah.
Conrad.
Please do not abuse it or it will be taken away. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Still waiting. So I'm going to
Fair.
assume that you got paid to take it back.
Oh, that was that you were sharing with that.
I thought that was funny.
Yeah, it is, I guess. Oh, look at that. We passed 1900 numbers. Nice. I wasn't even aware.
I don't know what you're talking about anymore, but okay. So,
I was talking about the screenshot he shared. If
yeah.
you look at the Balkans.
The what?
The Balkans?
Oh,
What were you looking at, mate?
I don't know. I didn't know what you said some number and I didn't know what you're talking about cuz it's past 19,000, 1900? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
that's a large number. At some point I think Ron is going to have more users than Politics and War, and that's not a good thing.
I mean, this server is basically that server without the noobs.
Yeah. Do you like ping? Do you like send messages out for Ron to noobs? How do people find out about this thing? Like I know I end up advertising it on the forums and stuff, but I'm just like
Oh,
I don't know how people find half of the stuff that I'm a part of, cause like I mean like DNN, I'm
mate,
still not sure if that's real.
let me just share a screenshot with you 1 second. So I have been running advertisements and shit for like Let me just check. Holy crap. The 17th of uh let's see, December last year. So here you go. That is how many? 1,100,088. Look at that.
Oh yeah, those ads. Yeah.
1 point nearly 2 million views. That's nice. Those ads are basically older than most noobs who play right now. Those
Yeah.
ads have a bigger nation ID than most of the people who are listening. I mean,
That's
I
probably true.
guess.
Ourselves not included. All right, to get back to the story though. So
Yes.
what I'm hearing from you is you guys uh, went the kind of lame way and didn't fight it out over oodles of money. Is that right? No one's getting rolled over this?
I mean, the fact that no one is getting rolled should, you know, tell everything you need to know. Use your use what's between your ears, my friend.
There's not much there. I don't know.
Oof, tough word. I like
It's echoing a little bit.
it. Yeah, no, we are not going to roll anyone because we have really no reason to roll anyone. We are very pacifist, we are pixelaggers, we do not do war.
that
Um,
that in and of itself is the whole problem behind um, the business, what is it? The business
fact,
sphere, as they call
the
it.
fact, the fact that no one is being rolled, is it?
Yes. Everything's peaceful. Everyone's willing to like hold each other's banks even during their wars against each other. It's like, no, we need hard lines to be drawn. We need complaints. We need some drama. Get rid of this ROI is all that matters nonsense. Anyways, that's my rant for that.
Uh,
There's a whole rant on that. I don't really care though. We had enough when Daraj blew Toes up and when Arctic blew up Taith. I know, those were
Pause.
great, weren't they? Finally, there was something interesting that came out of the business sphere.
Man, I
And you had the
remember.
chance right now to do that. That could have been your bank blowing up and lots of things coming out of that. That's what fuels politics in like alliance politics all the time.
I, I agree. It would have been a lot more fun if, we rolled someone, but we really have no reason or CV to roll anyone, except for Camelot, of course.
I mean, I doesn't everybody have uh doesn't everybody always have one for Cam?
Yeah,
So
fair enough.
someone was
I
trying to
mean,
tell me to roll Camelot to get them out of the 50th position or to get them below top 50. I don't
aren't
even
they already?
they're at,
Didn't they already fall out of
they're number
top
40
50?
right now.
Hey, close enough then. Just give it another week and we'll be fine.
So that's one implementation of bots. I think it's been long enough. Let's see. It's probably been yeah. I think that topic's been. Any last questions from chat? Please ask them now. Otherwise, I'm going to move on to the story that I was most interested about. Um,
Why are you appreciating it? I'm not doing it out of my kindness.
you're doing it out of profit concerns.
No, not that either.
Oh, okay.
I have nothing to gain monetarily from not rolling them. I also have nothing to gain from rolling them. Does it make sense?
Yep.
It does
Yes. I understand. You
completely.
you have you have good English. I understand this thing. I was listening, even. All right. So, next thing I want to talk about is regards to. I've been told it's not considered a DDoS, but it's still a denial of service of some kind. I don't know what you call it because I'm not computer brain good enough to know. But one of the things that has been going on that hasn't been largely reported on is the game will periodically shut down for, I don't know, as much as an hour at a time, as far as I can tell. I don't. From talking to a lot of people, uh, from talking to a lot of people don't know that it's even happening, even though some people have been complaining about it. I don't know why you guys are talking about Mike Hunt, but you guys should stop that.
Do that on purpose.
So I got interested last week. Yeah, I got interested in last week to try to figure out what was going on with the game. Trying to figure out, okay, who's messing up a bot that's ruining the game for everybody. So both myself, I was keeping tabs on it and trying to figure that out. I was asking questions the API channel, and then chatted a little bit with, or at least had some information from Sheepy that we got. Had some information from Sheepy, and I started talking about in the Balkans, and how they started. What happened is the administration of PNW started to shut down different API calls, different parts of the API, so that you weren't able to do certain things. I believe it was they didn't say what they were, but I think it was in you couldn't look at war declarations and what else was it? I can't remember. But essentially, they thought, okay, somebody's broken the script, and now there's a bot that's pinging the API way too many times. And Alex went so far as to DM the person that he thought was responsible. The only information I got was that person was probably in BK, but I'm not sure if that's even true. And then, so I started talking about that in the Balkans. And that's what led to the leaks that I posted in Royal Orbis Radio, which I will quickly link to because I'm sure half of you have that muted. I know I have every single one of those muted. Message link. Ding. And so what happened is myself and I think two other people, I don't know who one of the other people was, but one was myself, Mindsum, and one other person. I'm not sure who the third person was. All got messaged by this person named Zing. If you look carefully in the welcomes, Zing really wanted to talk to me, but I declined the friend request. So Zing had to actually join Ron to message me. And this person named Zing, who I can only assume was saying things play off my own name, Zig, started saying things that said, "It was me. Sheepy has not notified me. They do not know what's going on. I'm doing this partially maliciously because I hate this game, but also because I'm bored." Later on, the person said they're not using API keys. And the part that was the most frightening, I would say, have you tracked their IP yet? I don't know how to do that. I don't know if you can do that through Discord. Beats me. It doesn't matter. That person is not going to respond again, I don't think. Nor do I know how to what you would use with that. So the thing that was most interesting probably is this person, Zing, has claimed that there is a duping glitch associated with a DOS, a denial of service. So when they put the server on a really high load, apparently there's a way that you can essentially dupe both cache and resources. And so what this person was doing was basically overloading the server using a very particular thing, and then the glitch was able to duplicate money, and was using that money to kind of just shore up the accounts of alliances. And I highlighted a particular word that said, what was it? Alts, I believe it was. Yes. Didn't ban my nation / alt, which implies that the person also has more than one nation. So this gets to be like quite the tinfoil hat thing. Is this person for real? I'm not 100% sure, but there's definitely been some things that are absolutely true. What has been absolutely confirmed is the game has actually gotten down because of a particular aspect of the game. Now the question is, what is that? Sorry, I'm trying to get Falmore in here. So I don't know if it'd be responsible for me to tell everybody, but I think I'm probably going to. It turns out that it's not, when you try to ping the endpoint for spies, it's not limited in terms of how many times you can do that in any way, shape, or form. It was spy results. This is something I learned recently. Apparently, you can determine the results for anybody I think it's anybody in game. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but there's just this big long URL that you can fill in data. You can fill in different numbers and things, and you can figure out how many that's how people figure out how many spies everybody has, is through the percent, and it's actually incredibly easy to get to that and just basically spam it a bunch of times and get the information you want. So what happened is, hold on a sec. This is getting annoying enough that I'm going to start blocking people. I can't handle all these dumb stickers. Blocked.
All right,
Blocked.
Then I will mute those who spam.
Blocked. There we go. That takes care of those people.
You're going to lose social credit by blocking them.
Worth. Okay. Where was I in my story? Okay, so apparently you can use the you can use the, what did I say? The spy and the spy percentage endpoint. I'm saying this completely wrong, I know, but it's one of those things that just bounces off my brain because it's computer speak. And you can do that infinite times, and so a single person has been able to bring the game down multiple times. And multiple times. I think it's, from what I saw from my own experiences, it happened at least probably 12 times within the last 2 weeks. which is, it was for fairly short amount of times. I think the longest time was probably about 15 minutes that the game was down from this. But, it kind of adds up. I would estimate it's probably around 10 hours or so that the game's been down because of this person. Because this person has, and the exploit is now known and somewhat public. Alex fessed up and said what the problem was. But I don't know if it's fixed. I don't think it's fixed yet. I'd love to hear if anyone can confirm if it is fixed. Yes, I am getting distracted even though you're blocked. You guys are super annoying. So that's kind of
if
my
I'm
story.
going on a long spiel, I close my eyes so chat doesn't distract me. Maybe you can try that.
That's what I should do. That explains why I can literally hear in your brain when you start reading whatever I write.
Yeah.
So what do you guys think? Do you think, obviously this is at least somewhat real, but do you think Zing is real? Do you think that's
Is Zing real? I don't know if I understand the question.
Oh yeah, I think you missed half of it. Go to Royal Orbis Radio channel and look at the posts that I posted. Just for anyone that's just tuning in, like late Thelmore, Zing is a user that that's the code name, Zing, for whoever it actually is, and Zing messaged me essentially saying that Zing is responsible for bringing the game down, and essentially is able to dupe both money and resources using a glitch. Lysander says, okay, it's time for me to respond to that. First of all, someone was claiming that Zing was me. I can tell you that I had no sweet idea how to do any of that stuff, and I now do. And I absolutely I shouldn't say absolutely. I'd have to figure out how to get pages to load on. I don't know. I feel like they'd have to open multiple windows and close them really fast. I don't really know how to do that. But I do know the endpoint now, which is apparently easy to find. So I could actually figure out spies now after 6 years of having this exploit known and me getting angry. I finally know how to do the actual exploit where people know the spy account. I didn't omit the timestamps. The timestamps are there, and you can see exactly how many days it took me to respond some of the times. I actually invited Zing to come on, but I don't think the person was still checking the Zing account. If you take a look up a ways, one person actually has kind of claimed to possibly be Zing. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember who that was because I didn't recognize the name very much. No, Atomic. There you go. Atomic has half claimed to be that person. Is Atomic still here? Did I block Atomic? Why is Ellen asking to speak? I'd love to see why, if you have info.
Let's be real. Atomic is just...
I'm pretty sure Atomic is just memeing or something.
being himself, shall we say.
Yes. Zing is probably not Alex. I highly doubt that. Unblock.
I thought Alex would, harm his own business by doing that.
More importantly, I doubt Alex would spend as much time as that would require. to go on his own thing to do that.
Complete. Makes sense.
So, I don't know. Needless to say, though,
I'm willing to believe
yeah.
that Zing is a real person who claims to be who he does. People in this game can be very honest at times, contrary to what people might believe. So I'm willing to believe Zing when he says he's the master hacker kind of dude.
I am too,
Yeah, you are
based on
probably right.
Do you have doubts, Zig?
what?
Do you have doubts that Zing is what he claims to be?
I honestly, when I got messaged out of the blue, I immediately had doubts, and I gradually stopped having doubts as I talked to Zing more, as I talked to other people that are knowledgeable. As Alex came forward and basically said he didn't have, it wasn't an API problem. That when Alex came forward and said it wasn't an API problem and it was actually something else, it was like, oh, this person's definitely real and definitely isn't just claiming stuff. I'm not sure how much the money problem is real. You know, the duping money thing. I don't know how real that is, because I feel like you can track that but I don't know if Alex actually has. I've been actually messaged by Alan, and who says that he has information. So I've invited Alan to speak on the hope that you actually have information. I'd love to hear whatever you have to say. But in the meantime, hopefully that actually works. I never actually verified myself, so I never put 2FA on. So I don't know if I can do that mod stuff. Show request. Invite sent. Okay. Krampus, are you talking to me?
No,
Oh,
there
no.
is this. I mean, wait, look at that.
Yeah, I know. It's not me.
How can a person be this stupid? I'm genuinely surprised, no? Anyway, what were you talking about, man?
I was trying to add Alan. Alan has claimed that he has information, but it didn't work the first time, so I'm trying that again.
Yeah,
There you
he's
go.
here.
There you go.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi. Okay, so really quick, the first thing was the whole spies thing. Technically, that hasn't been fixed yet, nor do I think Alex knows necessarily how to. So that's probably going to be around for a long time until his coder buddies are able to actually figure out how to fix that. So public spy information is still available to everyone. Cool. The second thing, the whole Zing thing, Black Skies knows of a problem within the game, and we actually, I say we. There's two people in Black Skies that know of several issues within the game's mechanics, and that's how a bank was able to be stolen with it. It's
No, that's not correct. You didn't loot the foundation with that. I mean, unless you are referring to another bank.
this is a different bank. That was JKNK, and that's because apparently you were using the old Bank of Evil bot
No,
instead
you
of.
have no, you have it the other way around. I sold it to them. They were using my bot.
Oh, okay. So it was okay. Anyway, that's something else.
Okay.
What seems to be occurring is that Zing is right. I mean, based on everything that you gave us, it seems that Zing also knows about this issue. We never did anything to the extent of, okay, the game is just down, because I don't even think if you can do it. But what happens is if you send empty requests to a nation that doesn't exist anymore, because there's weird shit going on with if an alliance says it has 0 members, it still has a bank though. And so because it still has a bank, you can make requests and stuff to it. So you can technically duplicate and make stuff, but you can't actually get it because you have a nation that is inactive or something. So what we've discovered is there's been 3 alliances that have been made. The person immediately brought in like a city 10 nation score, put that guy into vacation mode, and then as soon as we discovered it, like a day later, all of a sudden, we saw that the servers were going down. So I've talked a little bit, because realistically I don't really know what's going on either. All I know is, hey, there's an issue where for some reason, because the game can't understand that vacation mode members still are members when it comes to alliances, and you have these kind of weird ghost alliances that kind of exist but then don't exist at the same time, you're able to essentially duplicate stuff, but you can't get the stuff back until that nation comes out of vacation mode.
So you've pinpointed probable duping locations then? The alts,
Yes.
quote unquote?
Yes. So we understand the locations. We don't necessarily know how it's done, because with a nation in vacation mode, you obviously can't send trades to them. You can do direct deposits though, but that doesn't seem to duplicate anything. And so we're trying to figure out if it's you send like a bunch of really small trades and then one massive trade. The nation goes into vacation mode, tries to accept all the small ones. You obviously can't because you're in vacation mode. And then it lags out the server enough with all of the requests that you can just accept the big one. But even then, that doesn't seem to work, because we go through the trade history on these accounts. There's no trade history. But there's a little bit of us that are saying, well, there wouldn't be any trade history because the account is in vacation mode. And so it wouldn't actually log anything, because when your nation goes into vacation mode, there's the only thing that it actually keeps track of is the commendation system, changing your leader name or your nation name, and you can leave and join other alliances, which I don't know how that works either. But in vacation mode, you can do that as well. So
Yeah, actually, up until fairly recently, I think partially because of me, you were able to leave any alliance you wanted, and it would display that you would leave. Like for instance, not long ago, it would have been right before Guns N' Roses. I left both TS as well as I left TS while I was in Grumpy in order to join what's it called, Banana Stand. That got fixed for people. I left a couple of different alliances because it was fun. That got fixed for most people, but I guess it probably didn't get fixed for vacation mode people because they don't exist.
So, Alan, I have a couple questions. If you have a few minutes.
yes, I have a few minutes.
Do you know how your two members came to find these exploits?
So one of the members was actually from another alliance that seems to maybe have found it, but he couldn't tell me. And the other one accidentally discovered it when I made the offshore. Um, reason being is we had somebody basically create the alliance when they were in vacation mode. I then ended up joining because I was still in 770, getting all of that stuff taken care of. And when we saw that, oh, we can actually do this to some extent, and that wasn't even, that was sent and everything. But what that sorry, that instance was they created the bank. They had a trade offer from before they went into vacation mode. They decided that they were going to switch to their phone real quick, switched to their phone, saw that the trade was there, notifications, accepted the trade. No money was withdrawn from one member, and money was put onto the nation of the other. So that we know for sure. The issue is we're not sure how the alliances are actually able to duplicate past that, because obviously when you make a trade, the trade is able to be seen, but past getting around all of these blocks and stuff, we're not sure. If you go to the 3-day averages for everything, nothing there is out of the ordinary, nothing there is strange. It's as soon as, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, well, my other question would be, I presume you guys have been talking to Alex about this and making him aware of the potential exploit.
Yeah, so we know, we don't know. We see 3 alliances that are probably doing the same thing. So we've brought that to his attention. And actually, it was Orbis Crown News. They reported on oh, there's a micro. Somebody was able to make an alliance at 10 nation score, which obviously you can't do that. So that's when I took a look at it and said, this is clearly somebody trying to abuse the system. So, and I don't know if Alex even knows a workaround for it. So,
Okay, well, as long as Alex knows about it, that's all that really matters. And then him and the
I'm
chick
not
who
in
works
your
from home
news
program,
server, friend. I'm sorry, mine's some.
So yeah, there you go with that. That's all I got to say. Zig, do you have anything else?
Yeah, I believe I know I immediately have I've fed Alex as much information as I could. Um, it feels like the right thing to do as a QA person, even though I take my job seriously, even though I have no reason to.
So, Zing is definitely a real person.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Zing knows how to do it. Whether or not he's actually doing it, though, is the question.
Yeah. And whether or not it's actually being done and successfully, which is I'm still curious about, because that could be potentially another Nova Riata moment kind of thing. I don't know. I doubt it, because I doubt it's going to be alliance wide. It sounds like it's a lone actor, but I don't know. Could just be micro drama too.
The one thing
It
is
sounds like
when
it's a pain to recreate.
it's almost near impossible to recreate, and it's impossible to recreate it and continuously recreate it, because when in vacation mode you can delete an alliance, but you cannot change who is the leader of your alliance. You can get pulled, but you can't like add people or anything like that. That's why when you see a lot of like nations, or not nations, but alliances with vacation mode leaders, that alliance is done. You can't do anything. So I mean, you would essentially, if you're just like recycling the same 2 accounts, you'd have to wait 2 weeks in order for that to happen. So for the servers to go down, as Zig was saying, 12 times, I mean, that kind of puts into perspective what kind of plays this is going on for.
Yeah. Although it could be the same sort of thing. There might be more to it than we're even aware of. So just a follow-up question on that. Do you know you're not allowed to add members? Why is that? Is there some sort of block?
Yes, so I think that was implemented so that you couldn't go into vacation mode, and you couldn't hand over the alliance to somebody else for war stuff. I don't know much about offshoring. I know like juggling and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But apparently there was a glitch where if you went into vacation mode and you joined an alliance, that the alliance bank couldn't be touched in any way, shape, or form. So Alex added the rule of, hey, we're going to just, you can't hide the bank, you can't send it to a nation 10 that doesn't plan on playing, and you can't vacation mode with a bank, or they'll delete 10% of it or whatever. But then for some reason, even in vacation mode, you could give the alliance to somebody else, and then that other person, because the alliance technically didn't exist when the person in vacation mode made it, that alliance then couldn't even be looted.
Yeah.
So
that all goes back to all those different glitches with, or maybe not glitches, but features with banks and the many different ways that you can make them not be looted.
Right. So I think personally, if I might say something, we as kind of like I shouldn't say we, I just started, but the offshoring community has gone to such lengths at this point that it's now found a part of the game that nobody even thought would be something relevant, let alone tested enough to make sure that all the loopholes were closed. And so all of these people that are trying to make like this 10 nation score offshores and just kind of recycle everything, now we're going to start seeing a lot more bugs and glitches, which is probably going to lead to duplication and a bunch of stuff like that.
Yeah, especially if you're able to lag the game intentionally just by pinging the spies endpoint, the spy percentage endpoint, which is
politics and war in beta for 6 years.
Yeah, no kidding. Hopefully our new nice overseas coder will fix everything up.
We'll see. But
thanks for coming on. This has been an interesting story. I don't think this is the end of it either, and I'm really curious to hear the end of it. If any of you have information leading to the arrest of Zing, please call the hotline at ZIGBIGADORLOU. That's all. Thanks for coming on. I want to talk about, let's see, what else do I have? I think I'm gonna just skip the API and bots thing. I don't really. That last one was enough. The last two things I have here is war mechanics. Do they need fixing? I wanted to share my own opinion, and I'd love to hear anybody that's listening's opinion. But don't go too far, because that's what the forums are for. I don't want to read a wall of text. So recently in the game suggestions forum, we got the most downvoted thread of all time. I think the worst ratio of all time. 75 downvotes with 2 upvotes. Even I was downvoted. I'm a big fan of Justinian. I'm a big fan of, but even I wasn't able to say I liked it. I'm gonna link the thread here, and I don't intend to rip into that thread. I think we all agree that there's problems with that thread. But I admire Roberts, Justinian, Bojack, whatever you'd like to call him. He wants to actually get a dialogue going. After talking to him in some back channels, that's the thing I wanted. That's the thing I heard from him is he's okay with I believe I'm not going to speak for him, but I am speaking for him. I think he's okay with his ideas not being received perfectly well. But what he really wants, the part that he really wants more, is for the dialogue to continue. As far as, okay, what kind of changes do we need to make? I know a lot of people are not interested in figuring that out because all of the suggestions will take over a year to get anywhere, at least from what I can tell. But I wanted to share a hot take that I don't think that the war system needs to be changed fundamentally, at least not the war itself system. I think it's fairly good, and any drastic changes is going to make it either not fun. I like most of the changes that were presented there, but also a lot of other ones that people presented. I think it'll be less fun to have war if it's more damaging, if it's less damaging. Of course, I have of course, there's the other part, which is I think that offshores should be taken down, but I'm not going to go into that right now. So what do you guys think? Do you think the war system needs to be changed dramatically?
I think that Beige is probably okay where it is. What I would like to see would be development of the mechanics so that the side that has the disadvantage can somehow wrangle a way to come out on top if they are skilled enough to know what they're doing. Because it seems like to me wars are already won before they begin, and once you're at that disadvantage, there's nothing you can do besides the same guerrilla tactics everyone else knows how to use. You know, missiles, nukes, one ship attacks, max soldier attacks, building up all this military, doing a bunch of attacks, then decomming on them, like those same tactics over and over again. Which I mean, they work, but they're boring, and you have to put a lot of effort in for the kind of damage you do back. I think it would be cool if there was some way so that like the more you got beige over a set period, like I don't know, some kind of bonus in some way. Um, some kind of bonus so that attacks would do less damage to your military or something. But
Yeah.
The details. I'm thinking about these details. I actually plan on making a thread soon with them, but what I'm describing would be a little bit complicated, especially because I don't even know how to do it. Although I have some ideas.
I think everyone has at least a couple
What are
ideas.
your thoughts, Zing?
What?
What do you think the solution should be, Zing?
Hold on. Let me see if I can. Unmute Zing. There you go. Requested.
gentlemen. What's up? I'm late to the
Hi,
party.
Juman. How are you doing?
Oh, you know,
I was pretty late myself. I got here at like 5:45, so this is the latest I've ever been to any show ever.
Wait, what time did it start?
5.
Oh, fuck, I'm way late. Damn. Damn, I really did myself in this time. All right, well, what was talked about? What did I miss?
Everything.
So Roberts made a thread. Everything, yes, but
Wait,
the current
Dread Pirate
topic.
Robert?
What, Juman? I can barely hear you, man. What's up?
Dread Pirate Roberts? He made a threat?
Justinian, yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Well, he was here. Zig, you can explain if you want, or I can. It's up to you. You're the host.
I think I'd rather just link it and then I'll link it and then I'm gonna mute. Yeah. Wait, can I do that? I'm not even sure if I can. Cool. I was hoping you had a bunch to say, but I didn't realize he had no idea what's going on. So I'm gonna just move on because I gotta finish this. I gotta wrap this up pretty quick. So, I think the 8 votes against changing beige indicate to me that beige doesn't really need to be changed. That doesn't mean that other things don't need to be changed, but I don't know. I honestly think that there's other things that we could be paying attention to that would be way more fun and way more interesting, personally. And everyone agrees with me, and because I'm right, and everyone can just clap right now. Because I'm right. All right, last topic I wanted to talk about. Last topic I wanted to talk about is the incessant threads about war naming. I brought this up to Hollywood. I had planned on bringing it up to other people, but I honestly think those threads are annoying for everybody. And I think in the future, we need to all decide that the names of global wars need to be just part of the peace process. What do you guys think about that idea?
I think that I should be the one to decide all global war names going forward, and that everyone should just defer to me for what name should be. I think that is the most fair and quickest way to name wars.
How are you going to decide? Is this going to be a Court of Thalmor kind of thing?
I will write down all the suggestions on a piece of paper and put them in a hat, and I'll think of 20 random names and I'll put them in the hat, and then I will draw from them randomly with my eyes closed, and that will be how we pick it.
Adequate. Let's see. So do we have any...
Making... Go on, Zig. Go on.
I was going to say, do we have any alliance leaders here in chat? Who's willing to raise their hand and say, I will force people to call wars by whatever my alliance says? Who's willing to say that? Because of terms, I feel like that's one of the most reasonable things. What happens if they don't call it? You roll them again. That's the winning side decides. That's what I'm saying.
Isn't that what we do, basically?
The winning side does not decide the name of the wars. No, because it goes on the forums.
That's not what I want. You know, with that side, the awful, like the god awful names I put there sometimes stick. I believe I have, for example, I had a few people I mean, more than a few people referring to Duck Hunt as leaky faucet conflict, I believe, something like that. And that's not the first instance in which the name I frantically wrote just to execute a command stuck for the entirety of the war. Something like that. And I'm all for forcing people to refer to the name I pick. It's fun.
And now I'm wondering, like, isn't Leaky Faucet just a different war? I thought that was a different
No,
war.
no, that's Duck Hunt.
Oh, dang.
See? I mean, it has deceived you, basically.
I am confused. Well, there is the Great Leak War, which is with Mindsum in
It's not
2020.
great. I
No,
mean, mate,
that's an
nothing mindset makes
that's an
is great.
unrelated. Yeah. I guess you're right. Leaky Faucet is Duck Hunt. I was just assuming there were multiple different ones. Um, let's see. Lysander says, no, I mean, what if the individual member doesn't call it the right name? You roll them. Come on. We are
Yes,
all sovereign in our own right. You
unless you do
No,
not
to
toe
be
to the party line.
to actually be a little serious, war names are kind of funny, but like it's not like everyone really has to agree on one. Um, an example of this is that I still call the 69-day war the 69-day war, even though TKR calls it Dance Dance Revolution. I mean, naming wars just exists so that like everything else in language, so that we all know what someone's talking about when they mention a concept. In this case, a war. I mean, people can really name them whatever they want for themselves. The real, I guess, conflict is what should it be called on the wiki. But that would be interesting though, making wars. If you make the naming of wars something to be discussed over peace, you're going to get the politicalization of war names, which I don't think happens that much now, but will certainly happen if you do that. Which is probably okay, but it will play out differently because obviously the winning side will decide with the most leverage. Will be able to decide what the name wars in the future, and when that happens, they will try to paint their opponent in a bad light when they name a war, and that could be interesting. I don't know if that's a bad thing. I'm just speculating on what the outcome might be in such a scenario.
Yeah, like you're saying, it doesn't matter that much as long as we can still communicate. The tricky part that I find is after the fact when you start talking about stuff. So obviously the big one in my mind is probably the biggest war, uh, which we now call NPO's last time, which I called dial up, for a year after it was done still. And there's certain wars like that where it's like, you know, it's pretty important for, especially for like newbies. We talk about that war all the time, and suddenly, yeah, I mean, and for some of us it's called one thing, others it's called another. That's confusing for newbies, but it's like probably it's a really important thing. Um, this is the most recent war that has been struggled to be named is also going to be one that's going to be talked about in the near future. So I think it's important that we at least have something that we can have a common ground on and know what it is. And I think the best way to do that is to just impose your will on the other side. It's easier that way. That's what I say. It's no worse than any meme terms, and I'd say it's more useful than a meme term. So that's why the next war is going to be Nightfall 2. Just ask me.
But if all else fails, my idea of drawing names out of a hat is still on the table. and I will even do it for free.
All right. Final call for anything politics and war related. Before we invite Kev back on for another a cappella version of Thalmor Radio. Yes, you missed that, Thalmor. You missed an a cappella version of your song.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, it was great.
I'm sorry I'm late.
It was great. It hurt my ears.
But I'm sorry I'm late. My bad. Please forgive me. It will not happen again. Maybe I will try to let it not happen again. 'Cause I did want to be here on time. I just let time get away from myself really bad.
All right, if none of you have anything else to say, I'm going to close out the show. Thank you all for listening to Royal Orbis Radio. Please tune in again next time when we talk about a bunch of other nonsense. But really, one thing I'm probably going to do within the next couple of weeks is I'm planning, if I have time, I'm going to perhaps try to do a theme pseudo awards show. We'll see if anyone's interested in that. And I'm also I also have another idea kicking around for a kind of a game show. So get ready for that. That'll probably be in a couple of weeks if you guys are interested, and if I have time. Thank you all for listening, and goodbye.